And we're live from the 313 and the 404. It's episode 118 of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. We're live, y'all, on a Thursday. It's March the 9th. It's also the 777th day. No, 778th day of the Biden administration. And the reason why we tell you that it's live and all that stuff is because we want to make sure you know that it is like actually like right now. It ain't no recording or whatever because it's the Everybody Man Live podcast. And my name is Sid Lover.
What's going on? I'm Kenya Khabib. Shouts out to everybody rocking with us right now. We're live on Facebook. Make sure that you spread the word. Let everybody know that we are on right now. Make sure that you comment too. You can comment with that link that you see up under the screen. And we're also actually on all podcast platforms right now. So spread the word. We're on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast content. That's where you can find the Everybody Mad Live podcast. And we always really appreciate you all checking us out as we get things together over here. Sam, what's been happening up in Detroit, man? You had a good week?
Just busy always. I feel like meetings always, but I think it's time to strategize and just kind of get some stuff together. So yeah, we're just kind of preparing for a big summer and just the rest of the year or whatever. But just been maintaining a little bit. Did get some good news on one front. All my efforts and hard work and working for low wages in nonprofit organizations and things of such and things like that or whatever. I did get my approval for my student loans, so my student loans have been forgiven.
Hey!
So like that weight just felt like, oh, I can go on a trip. So I think I'm gonna go to the women's Final Four if I can to Dallas. Hopefully my Gamecocks will be playing in there.
Okay.
So I think that's what we're gonna try and do. But we're gonna see. But yeah, that's been some good news. So I've been kind of floating around on the cloud because like I got $60,000 less debt to my name.
Ooh, congratulations on that, brother. I know that feels like a
like just drop an extra little something on you. Like getting the master's degree was a good idea like at the time, but like hindsight, I'm like, that's 60 grand.
Yeah.
For now.
I know it feels like a weight lifted off your shoulder, though. I couldn't even imagine that kind of debt. And I understand, people are living with $100,000, $150,000 worth of student debt. So to have it,
nonprofit, like that's how I got mine. Like I know Biden's trying to do what he's trying to do now to get student loan debt off, but like part of that was because like while I was paying my student loans, I was working for a nonprofit. So there's a public service loan forgiveness program that I was part of. So like because I was working for a nonprofit, my payments got to count a little bit extra, a little bit. So all I really had to do was like 10 years as opposed to other people have to do 20, 30 more or whatever. So I knew going into it or whatever, if I kind of keep consistent with this or whatever, if you work for a nonprofit, you only have to pay your loans for 10 years basically, and then it's 10 years of payments. It like part because a lot of my payments was them like them forbearance payments, like where they like just barely like $100, but they counted those too because like I was part of the program. So yeah, work for a nonprofit is my advice to people looking for a way to kind of get out of some student loan debt if Biden's thing doesn't go on with what he's trying to do with the student loan, because I know that's all the way to the Supreme Court now. They're challenging Biden's authority to give that loan forgiveness to all those people, whatever. So we're going to see what happens. We know the Supreme Court is not on our side right now, but yeah, I'm praying for y'all. But I done got mine. So you all right?
Yeah, I'm good down here on this end. Thankfully, no student loans for me. But man, everything has been good. I've been moving and shaking around town and been checking out. Shouts out to Michelle Lamb, because we had actress Michelle Lamb on the show last weekend. She was telling me about an acting class to artists. So I did that yesterday. It was real good. Had a great time meeting some real cool creatives that are doing their thing in the city of Atlanta. So we'll see how things go. But I definitely want to send shouts out to Michelle Lamb for that right there. We got a great show lined up for everybody, too. Make sure that you all check us out. Again, we are on all podcast platforms. And what were you about to say, Sid? Looked like you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say congratulations to Marnita too. She said she got her letter in January. That's just the wait. So like I was kind of scared too because like last year like in the summertime or something like that, like there was this brand new company called Mohila or something like that, and
Uh,
they started getting everybody loans because I think somebody else had my loan. Or whatever. And then they switched it over. So like they make you kind of feel kind of nervous, but like you kind of feel optimistic about it. But yeah, like
yeah.
like all that stuff kind of went through. So congrats to you too, Marnita, too. So I know you're going through that. But yeah, great show that we do have lined up today. Obviously, we got to talk about the Chris Rock Netflix special that came out, Selective Outrage, because I think it's an appropriately titled thing.
Mhm.
To talk about because a lot of people said it wasn't funny. Some people said Chris Rock being Chris Rock. Some people said it was, but it was. So we actually want to hear what people have to say about
Right.
the Chris Rock special on Netflix because they were actually live. Netflix did something live for the first time ever. So we'll talk about that.
Also, we're going to tell you about a black family that is getting paid by the state of California to the tune of $8.5 million. And it's all because of racism. Okay, so we're going to tell you all what's going on. And of course, if I say a black family's getting paid by the state of any state, that racism has something to do with it. That's the kind of podcast that we are. So if we ever open up with something like that, just trust and believe racism is going to be behind it because everybody mad. That's why we're the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Plus, our girl Monique said, did you watch Monique's new movie on BET?
I did, yeah.
Okay, but we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Monique because she's been trending lately because she is done with open marriages. She's done with her open marriage. We're going to tell you more about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting talk, and we're gonna want everybody's opinions on Everybody Mad Debate because we gotta talk about this little conversation that went on, and just see because things are shifting. We talked about a little bit, Kenya, about how like people in our circle or whatever, like you begin to change, like as you cut. And I don't know if it's like as society's changing or as we just mature and things like that we just don't put as much stock into it like that or whatever. So we're going to talk about something related to that. If is it okay to kind of be close friends or companions with a close friend of a family member or an ex or whatever? So like, is it okay for you to kind of make some sort of relations? Is it okay to be companions with someone's close friend or family member's ex? So,
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I'm sure we'll talk more about that. But I've had a couple of situations that's gone down recently, so we're going to talk more about that. Plus, Sad, I know you're from Carolina. You're from South Carolina, born and bred in Carolina.
Born and raised.
How Southern are you? How Southern do you think you are? Do you pass the I am Southern test?
Oh yeah, probably so.
Yeah, because I know I do. Being raised, born up in Chicago, but raised all my life down south. I know I passed the Southern test. Do you pass the Southern test? We're going to talk more about that. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick everything off on this whole Chris Rock thing that people still talking about. It's Thursday. This show aired this past weekend on Netflix. His 1 hour comedy special on Netflix, Selective Outrage. Everybody mad, but not everybody. Not everybody's mad. I'm not mad at Chris Rock. But some folks are still mad at him and what he had to say about the whole slap incident. Now, I don't know if we can show a clip or not because I don't know if we'll get flagged.
We might, but let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
She fucking said he should quit because Will didn't get nominated for concussion. What the fuck? What the fuck? So then I do some jokes about it. Who gives a fuck? That's how it is. She starts it, I finish it, okay? That's what the fuck happened. Nobody's picking on this bitch. She started this shit. Nobody's picking on her.
So I ain't gonna play a whole lot. You can actually go on Netflix, I think, and still be able to see the special, whatever. So that's just a little snippet of it. But I think a lot of people, well, that's one of the moments that people was mad at because in what he addressed his issue, and a lot of what he said, spoiler alert, is that he was less mad at Will, but more mad at Jada, is what I kind of gather. Is that kind kind of what you well, not mad, but like kind of more blaming her for the
Yeah,
situation.
he blamed, what he did was he's blaming Jada for Will Smith being so upset, and the reason why Will Smith took that anger out on him was because of Jada cheating and their relationship throughout the years. So what Chris Rock was saying was pretty much Jada's been doing all this dirt and then interviewed me about her cheating and all this kind of stuff, but then Will Smith's going to turn around and slap me because he's so upset at his wife. And so, a lot of people, they were upset. They were saying, well, why did he wait all this time? Well, it's calculated. First of all, let's understand this. It was calculated. We knew maybe like a couple of months after the slap went down that he had signed a deal with Netflix to discuss this whole situation. So we knew that he would not do any interviews with anybody. But I think the whole time that I was watching, I was just really ready for him to talk about the slap. And then when I realized, okay, well, he's going to talk about some, just Chris Rock stuff. He's going to talk about all this other stuff, but then he's going to wait till the last 8 minutes to discuss what everybody's been dying to hear.
Yeah,
it was
like that's what you do. Like,
right. You got to keep them. You got to keep them watching.
And like Netflix did give him $40 million, so like he can't come up with like the cliffhanger just starting off. Well, the reason that I didn't say nothing during so like you got to give him a show,
right?
Well, like also what I want to talk about, and I'm gonna let you finish your point or whatever, is that like it was it overkill? Yeah, like Netflix had this pre-show, and then they had the actual show, and then they had the after show. On that, and then they had some other promos on top of that or whatever. So was this made too big of a deal?
No, I don't think so, because honestly, it wasn't really even, in my opinion, it wasn't promoted heavily. We knew that the show was coming on, but you didn't see it all over, advertised all on TV like Chris Rock. It just, I felt like it wasn't overkill, and I felt like the show, in my opinion, it was a good show because Chris said what he had to say about the whole situation, which we all wanted to know. A lot of people thought it wasn't funny. I dig his comedy just like I dig Dave Chappelle and I dig Cat Williams. He has a certain kind of comedy that only a specific group of people are going to get. People, either you like Chris Rock or you don't. Either you like Dave Chappelle or you don't. We're talking about Chris Rock right now. I dig Chris Rock. I've always liked Chris Rock because he's a smart ass. He's cynical. You know what I mean? But he's not like a Kevin Hart. He's not a Kevin Hart. He's not kooky. I mean, he is who he is, and he is one.
He has that read, and you can tell Chris Rock reads. So like I've always like really enjoyed this kind, and I think the people that attack him, same thing with like what you're saying with Chappelle. I think that people just don't like him, and it's like we always get into this discussion about comedians.
Right.
With them, it's like have we lost our sense of humor? Like is it off limits to even laugh at people? Like can you not get laughed at because like somebody that made us into like an anti-woman sort of thing, and I didn't get that. Now I'm not a woman, so I don't want to like claim to have the emotional like sort of centering to be able to adequately to say that you shouldn't have been offended, but I didn't see anything that was women that was anti-woman in this thing, and that's what he's getting on Twitter for a part of what he called in the
selective outrage.
Yeah, right, like calling Jada like using a B word at her or whatever, and then talking about some of his past sort of issues that he's had with Jada and all this stuff. So like people are like, oh yeah, Chris has had an issue with Jada. He's always had a thing or whatever. Like I think like remember way back in the 90s, Chris Rock had a talk show. Somebody brought up the clip. I wish I should have saved that clip or whatever, but somebody had brought up a clip where like he was minimizing her for her efforts. She was trying to organize and help with organizing. Like remember back in the 90s, after the Million Man March, they wanted to do a Million Woman March, and Jada was one of the faces of that, trying to put that together. And like Chris was kind of cynical on or whatever. So like somebody, he been had it out for since the 90s because she won't screw him. Like it's stuff like that or whatever. And I don't think it's that deep.
It's really not. It's at the end of the day, it's comedy, and I think that people, they always want to dig deeper. You're always, and this is what else I realized too, especially in the industry that we're in, said that a lot of people that are clout chasing, they are trying to pull for hits and likes, and they're gonna, just find something. So, oh, he called her a B, he called her a bitch, and then you put that on your Instagram or you put that on your social media and your podcast, so people will view it and try to, you're digging. I feel like it's just a reach when it's at the end of the day, like you said. It's just comedy. Just relax. He does comedy that's not for everybody. I call it intellectual comedy, like the Dave Chappelle, like the Cat Williams, where he's a reader, he's a thinker, and he's gonna talk about stuff that's really affecting the community and stuff from his point of view. But again, it's not that serious. And when people said, okay, well, he's called her a bitch, just get over it. It's comedy. He's expressing his point of view from being slapped by Will Smith. And then I have one of my friends, and I got to talk about him. He was like, I just feel like that whole thing was contrived, and that was just a setup. Hollywood, white people set him up to do that. No, that was real. That wasn't a setup. But this brother was trying to tell me, his argument was he felt like, the whole Jedi mind trick that Will Smith and all of this is staged, and it wasn't staged. It's real. But getting back to the whole point, it's just a comedy show, and people are trying to cancel comedians just for anything that they say. People are just so sensitive. Like for people to say, oh, he called her a bitch. Oh my gosh, are we tripping about that? You got to find something. You got to find something to talk about for likes and for clout. And I just feel like that's the world that we're living in now, and people are too sensitive.
And my thing is, if you don't like it, then you don't have to consume it. Like this is his art form or whatever. Like he's in business because a certain level of people like him or whatever. And I don't think it's anti-comedy. Albie had a comment coming in from Twitch because we're also live on Twitch right now. Said Jada is missing Tupac. That's why she's stirring up all that trouble. Marlon had a comment about Chris Rock as well.
My brother Chris Rock. Either he is the strongest black man that God ever created, or he is truly one bitch ass nigga. Cause this nigga didn't even act like he's gonna hit him back. He didn't do none of this. You know what I mean? He didn't put his hands up. I didn't see his little claws curl up. That nigga just took it and then complimented Will on the slap. I can't believe it. Will Smith just slapped me at the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, but I like what he had to say about why he didn't hit him back.
Yeah.
Which, people, you all can go watch it. But he said because his mom told him not to fight in front of white people.
Yeah,
I totally get that. Right there. He
comes from a certain era, and his mom and his mom was born in Beaufort, South Carolina. So like,
yeah,
I know a South Carolina mama.
Me too.
Sounds about right. That sounds about right because I've been told similar things or whatever. Another comment from Crystal said she liked the Chris Rock special and felt he had the right to state his feelings about the slap. Yeah, that's right. Because at the end of the day, he got slapped. Why are we forgetting that? Like he was really the victim in all this because like instantly or whatever. Like he had to deal with being robbed of his manhood because as a black man or whatever, like there's a certain thing about slapping that takes away from you. So like he had to deal with a lot of that or whatever, and like to be able to just move past that or whatever. Like I'm glad that he was able to do that. So we can continue that. But thank you for your comments, and please continue to share on the Everybody Mad as we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Yeah.
Hey, shouts out to everybody on Twitch. Well, in other news, it's trending right now. A black family is $8.25 million richer after a California jury decided in their favor following an unlawful search and detention in Castro Valley over 3 years ago. Here's the story. That's a lot of money. $8.5 million said.
Yeah.
Man.
I wish it could have been me.
Mm-hmm.
We can't sit here. Well, actually, let me tell you why I'm here. Okay? I've been having auto break-ins in this parking lot every morning around this time.
Aceli Lagervale and her two daughters were sitting in a rented Cadillac outside this Castro Valley Starbucks when Alameda County Sheriff's deputies concerned about car burglaries zeroed in on them, demanding the mom's ID.
What's that about? What did I do? What kind of crime did I commit?
The deputy doesn't answer, so she refuses.
You have to give me your ID.
Why do I have to give you my ID?
Why?
I don't have to give you my ID because I haven't did anything.
Lagervale's attorney says it's the first violation of her constitutional rights.
They can ask. They can always ask, but you don't have to give it to them. And they can only demand it if they have reasonable suspicion to believe that you've committed a crime.
They don't want to listen to us, so let's go ahead and detain these two.
But then things escalate.
Get out of the car.
Anything. I'll get out. Just don't pull on me. I'll get out.
Tell me what I'm detained for.
All three are put in handcuffs.
You're being detained.
For what?
Put your hand behind your back or you're going to go to jail.
No, I'm not going to jail. And you're not going to.
And for more than an hour held in the back of a police cruiser.
Ridiculous. I just told them I have to use the restroom.
The car and all of their belongings was searched without their consent, finding nothing to suggest any crimes,
Another violation.
prompting a civil lawsuit alleging they were unlawfully stopped and searched, falsely arrested, and their privacy invaded because they're black.
If not consciously, subconsciously, there was something going on that made them unreasonably suspicious of this family that had, and I think if this same scenario happened and these were white women, I think it all plays out very differently.
A federal jury agreed, deliberating for 2 days and returning an $8.25 million verdict. The Lagervale's lawyer says the sheriff's office did an internal affairs investigation that said the two deputies did nothing wrong, and both have since been promoted.
What are you detaining us for? Now you're searching through our items without permission.
Wait, but the two deputies have been promoted.
Every time they're in a Starbucks parking lot, they're going to remember this.
Yeah, the two sergeants in this time or whatever, the internal affairs have deemed that they did not do anything wrong, so they received no discipline, no time off, no nothing on their record or anything. Even though a jury obviously said that they were wrong, the internal affairs also meant that since there was nothing found, they were still eligible for those promotions, which they both got. So they both are currently, as I speak now, on March 9th at 8:55 p.m., they are still sergeants with the Alameda Police Department.
And have not been reprimanded at all. And you know that they'll do this again, some way, somehow, to another black family. And it's like, they're not
$2 million, that ain't enough.
Right, but and then I'm thinking, damn, like even this, like, because the state has to pay for that. Right. So it seems like somebody would say, you know what, we're going to fire them and they won't be able to work as police officers anywhere because you just cost us $8.225. You know, that's crazy.
But that's the right thing to do. We don't do
everybody right. Mad.
That's why everybody mad. We got a reason. Everybody mad. I know somebody ain't mad.
Who? Deborah Lee. She ain't mad because she got a new book out to promote.
That's why we've been seeing her.
She got a new book out, but she's been talking. You said what?
I almost said she was on with Gayle King, but she was on with Robert Roberts, wasn't she?
It was Robin Roberts. Yep, yeah. She was on with Robin Roberts the other day. I didn't even know this. I didn't know this was a thing until somebody told me, like, oh, you got to make sure that you talk about Deborah Lee. But Deborah Lee, she was the CEO of BET at one point in time. You remember Bob Johnson? He was the founder. I'm sorry, he was actually the he was a founder. He was the owner of BET at one point in time. Bob and Deborah were smashing the smithereens.
I wanted to tell that story because the power dynamics are so important in a relationship, and especially if you're having a relationship with someone you work for.
Right.
And we all know the potential pitfalls. I worked for Bob Johnson for 10 years before we had a personal romantic relationship, and he was a mentor, and he pushed me, and he's responsible for a lot of my success. We did have a relationship while we were both married. We ended up both divorced, and then people knew about the relationship. The company knew, public, we started going places together. The downfall of a relationship like that is if you want to get out of it. And that's the part where it came, and I wanted to break up. I saw it wasn't a long-term relationship, and my job and my career was held over my head. And it was like, well, if you want to break up with me, then you can leave tomorrow.
And then don't you think that people behind the scenes, I'm sure they were thinking Deborah Lee slept her way to the top.
Yep.
She slept her way to the top. And it kind of ruins it for all the good women out there that are really on the grind, really trying to prove that they're not like that. It kind of messes it up for them.
Yeah.
Because, you have this woman who,
of course, like sleeping with the CEO, but like that's a deep comeuppance because she became CEO once he left the company. Like it's almost like the actual handoff, and like that's just crazy or whatever. And that makes you wonder whatever was that kind of relative to like why he divorced his wife, because like him divorcing his wife was around about 2002. Deborah Lee became president in 2005 when he was leaving or whatever. So like that's all in it. So I'm sure she was the reason why. Well, I wonder, didn't Miss Deborah talk about the fact that like she broke up this marriage? Well, I guess she did, but like she didn't talk much about
maybe it's in her book.
The wife of that.
Right. And the wife is Sheila Johnson. Sheila Johnson used to be a BET personality at one point in time too. She owns a hotel up in the DMV area. I heard that
she owned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, she got paid. She must have gotten paid a pretty penny from that divorce.
He was a billionaire, so I guess so. And she done invested, like she got that property there. I think she has a property in South Carolina. She has a property in Bermuda. She has a property in Bahamas, I think. She has a property in Virginia. That might be the property you're talking about with the Blue Ridge Mountains spa and resort or something like that or whatever. So Sheila got some money. Oh, she owns the Washington Mystic. Like she owns a whole WNBA team. So
no,
she got her come up it. So I guess she all right, but Miss Deborah Lee ain't got paid like that because she didn't get married.
Well, close your legs to married men. Don't lay on your back trying to sleep your way to the top, because that's just how I'm just saying. That's how it looks. That's how it looks. And all this time, all these black women, they were revering her.
Looking at her, working around her.
Right. They were like, oh, you're Deborah Lee. You're a strong black woman, and you've done so well. And we know you've gone through so much adversity to get to where you are. When the whole time you were on your back,
you were smashing the boss. You were smashing the boss, and that's how you like expedited your career path. But I'm surprised that because Deborah Lee's a woman of a certain age, that
don't matter.
She's kissing and telling, because like that's the sort of stuff that you take to your grave. So like it's maybe she like regret that she didn't get paid like Sheila. So like she trying to get paid off this book deal or something like that. Marnita said she up there kissing and telling.
Yeah,
but
sure
like, that's probably why she's trying to sell books, because she wants to be able to kind of make a little something off of that book deal.
Yeah, well, she wants to be Sheila. She wants to be Sheila Johnson. And trust me when I say Deborah Lee, we know that she's not hurting for coins or anything like that. But her coins is not. The bag ain't as heavy as Sheila Johnson's bag.
Not quite.
Yeah, man. We definitely want to hear your stories. Everybody, Mad Live Podcast, having a great show. Thank you so much for checking us out. And don't forget, you can always follow us on our Instagram page at Everybody Mad. Shouts out to everybody checking us out. I can't see the comments tonight, but I know that they're coming in. Let's do a
comment check. We did have comments going back to Chris Rock. Sandra, thanks for checking in. She said that the one thing I do have about Chris is he didn't go after Will's pockets. That's how you hit him and Jada. Oh, sue him. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or for assault.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all saw it.
We all saw, but again, I give Chris Rock props on how he handled the situation. He never clapped back until this comedy special. He didn't sue because a lot of people were saying, even we talked about it when it all happened. Oh, I would sue because that's assault. I would press charges. He didn't do any of that. He waited, negotiated that deal with Netflix, and got paid. That's how you do it.
And got more money and probably more respect and like it really was a marginal comedy show. Like it wasn't his best or whatever, but
no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Needed to hear out of it, and he got $42 million, and he didn't even really have to do a whole lot of work to do
right.
It. So like he got his comeuppance. Crystal says she felt that Chris was smart about the whole deal. He said he would not comment until he got paid, which we just said that $40 million was a better deal. So thanks, Wills, for the slap. It gave him a come up financially. Absolutely. I love when black people win. Chris got his 42. This black family got their 8.2. We had 50 million for black people. Can we get to 60? Come on. Can we get some more million? Well, no, hold on. We got 40 million plus 42, 50. That's 50. That's $50 million plus my $60,000.
Right, that part right there. Hey, but again though, said I agree with you 110. I love when black people are winning. So you just and again, here's another lesson learned too. You just can't go around. You can't put your hands on people like that. You can't display acts of racism without some kind of repercussion. It has to be like people have to understand. So that's why people are getting paid and getting all this money. So I'm not wishing no ill towards myself, but a cool 20 million, 30 million would be real nice for me right about now.
For getting slapped on national TV? Okay, well, like now, like in hindsight, if somebody said like, if I slap you on national TV at an award show for $42 million, would you take it?
Probably
would.
Yeah, but then you got to think about psychologically what that does to you too, because I'm sure Chris Rock was, thinking the whole time, like people are like, oh, he like Marlon Wayne said, damn, he's a bitch ass nigga, like he just got punked and all this kind of stuff. So you got to hear all of that. So psychologically, it's a lot. You definitely got to stay prayed up, and I'm sure he was meditating and staying prayed up through all this right here. But in the end, he won, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Well, anyway, Monique's situation, she's back in the news. I watched her movie before we talk about this. Her movie, The Reading, on BET Plus. You've got to check out this film. It's completely, and I don't know, Sid, how you felt about it, but as far as acting, Monique hadn't been on screen in a few years because of all the controversy that surrounded her. So to see her connect with Lee Daniels to get this film done, which was produced by her husband, by the way, that's a whole nother thing. But it was good to see her back on the screen, and she acted her ass off. And then I'm a fan of the horror thriller supernatural genre. Excellent film. I'm not going to give it away. You just got to watch it because there are elements and twists and turns and surprises, but it is a good film. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I said the same. I didn't look at the preview or whatever, or the trailer. So I didn't really know what to expect or whatever, but generally I knew what the movie was about with the the detail is in the on the description of the program or whatever. So I wasn't expecting what I saw. Now she was head and shoulders above the best actress on that production. The other actresses, marginal, like they were not as believable or whatever. But like I wasn't really watching it for that. Like I was just really drawn into the story, which was kind of like it took you off the beaten path a little bit because it's not exactly what you would expect based on what you saw or whatever. So I think Monique did a phenomenal job, like you said. Everybody else not so much or whatever. But but I think it is something that is a good watch because it is good to see her back in something that is. But she always got me crazy. Like, spoiler alert. My bad. Okay.
Steve said, "You in that mouth." Anyway, but no,
they can watch the damn show. I ain't know the whole thing.
Okay, well, just watch the movie. But anyway, like I said, the movie was produced by her husband, and Monique loves her husband. Her husband has been her manager for quite some time now, and a lot of people have said that he was the reason for the downfall in her career because he's the one that kind of like says, no, you should get this and you need more money because he wants to get more money and this and that and this and that. But Monique is pretty much saying that, you know what? We're not in an open relationship anymore because remember they used to speak out about how they were in an open relationship. If Monique wanted to go smash somebody, if he wanted to go have sex with another female, then they would do it and then they would come back together. But now she's saying that's not the life that she's living. The quote is, she said, life began to happen. She said she began to see the strength that she had never seen before. He loved me at my worst. I didn't want to sacrifice that for just a lay. So I grew out of that. So Monique is saying that she's done with the open relationship because she didn't want to sacrifice. She didn't want to sacrifice everything, all that love for just a lay. So, what's your take on that? Because it's interesting that she was so vocal. They were both very vocal about this, but now all of a sudden it's like we all we got. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I think so too, and it's kind of weird because like they went on the like you say they were vocal, but like they were vocal, like started a whole ass podcast about the fact that we have an open relationship. You know what I'm saying? So like we forget about that. We forget about the fact that they were on a whole ass show with some preachers talking about the fact that they have an open relationship.
Well, here's a subject that I thought my fellow preachers would find very interesting. The two of you have a podcast called Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. Yes. Is it true you all actually have an open relationship? And what does that mean? Is it open 24 hours? Is it, what's going on? What does it mean in an open relationship? And I know this was your idea, Sydney.
Everybody on the screen have an open relationship.
Yes, we are in an open relationship 24/8. Okay. And by that, we mean that we're always open to conversation. We're open to the understandings that man and woman or as a couple, we should have for one another. Thank you.
You automatically said, Sydney.
This was his idea.
And I think that's, when we first came out with it, everybody said, oh my God. How could Monique let that man do that to her?
Whose idea was it?
Well, because she's this big woman and he's this good looking man. And because she has this money, she's going to let that man do whatever he want to do just to say she has a fine man.
So y'all talking about, because you talk about emotion and conversation, but that's not what y'all talking about sex right now.
Here's what makes it beautiful.
That was a little sassy.
Okay, shake your head one more time. Here.
Whose idea was it? Was it your idea?
It was my idea because 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I'm an entertainer. And this is my best friend ever. And what I did not want to do was be dishonest with my best friend. There may be times I may want to be with other men. And my best friend said to me, Mama, I've loved you since the 10th grade. Do you think you being with another man is going to have anything to do with me loving you? And then he said, well, if you can be with other men, I can be with other women. I said, well, that's not what I meant now. That's not what I meant. But it was my idea because I wanted to be open and honest with the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with.
I think that's amazing. And a lot
I bet you do.
That's novel, and y'all church people are going to have a heart attack. Monique is from Baltimore with me. So I believed in open marriage. I just forgot to tell my ex-wife about it. So it didn't go well. But I think the key is,
had you had that conversation?
The key is that conversation. But the biblical part I've got to ask is not as entertainers, but as believers, how do you find that balance that we say that the bedroom is sacred for the two of you?
Who am I to tell her what she can and cannot do? And if I did tell her what she could and could not do, is there a possibility that she could still do it anyway?
Wow.
And then that's called cheating. And then that's called what you guys consider a sin.
Okay. So here's the thing. I know for my house that if I tried an open relationship, there would be a 100% divorce rate in my house.
And I think you should ask your wife since she's in the audience. Because oftentimes we don't ever even have the conversations because we're too afraid of what might come back. So we might want to check with the wife because what happens is, John, is two things: finances and infidelity. Finances and infidelity will shut it down every time, but we're too afraid to say, let me tell you how I'm really feeling. And then you're going to tell me how you're really feeling. And then we're going to say we're in it forever.
And when you have a gentleman like yourself that just was able.
Okay, y'all
So that was a great flashback clip, because I remember when that was circulating around the internet. It is funny, like you said, how all four of them, all of them been doing their dirt, especially the pastors, especially John. Now, the Pastor John, we know about everything that he did. You said what?
He got caught again.
Yeah, he's a trip out of all the people, but then he tripped me out how he was looking down on Monique when he been doing all that dirt the whole time.
Straight up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. But with Monique having her change of heart, my whole thing is do what you want to do, because if you choose to have an open relationship, that might not be something that I want to do. But if other people choose to do that, do whatever makes you happy in your relationship. That's how I feel. I can't judge people for how they live their lives and what they want to do behind closed doors, because that does not dictate who they are as a person. If that's what you do, let me tell you, there's so many people that's into some crazy stuff behind closed doors. You never know. You know what I'm saying? But then when they walk out the door, they don't get judged for it because no one knows. So I can't judge them for what they want to do, but it's just interesting how they stuck to this. Like they were pro open relationship, and now it's just like you backtracking on. I'm like, if you're gonna do it, just stand it. Just
what happened?
If something happened. And here's the thing: when you do have open relationships, get ready for the shit that comes with it. That's it. And I'm sure that the shit hit the fan. Something happened for them to say, you know what, we ain't doing this no more. And it probably had to do with somebody. It probably had something to do with somebody saying, okay, well, I'm doing this with y'all, but somebody probably tried to hit them in the pocket. That's what I think.
Probably
that's
so, yeah.
that's what I think. But anyway, go ahead, Sid.
No, I was like that definitely. But like something did happen because they were strong in it. Like y'all built your whole foundation of your marriage on this openness sort of tenor or whatever. So like to go sort of backtrack on it just all suddenly and like, oh no, I got grandkids and I got babies now, whatever. So like I'm like life is happening now, so I'm too busy to worry about like dealing with other people. With something happened.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I just think it's just you got to understand, with open relationship it comes a whole lot of drama, and people say, they don't think about all that. They say that they want it, but then when you get in it, it's a whole lot of mess, and some people can't handle it.
Several people in open relationships or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Peers, I know some down where I live too. It's like I don't know any of them that are as strong as what they were maybe a year or two ago. Like some of them kind of have this openness to where like it is kind of like whatever, sort of like that or whatever. But I know some other people who the openness turned into, oh, we really like this one, so we're gonna pick this one, and this one is going to be our third wheel or whatever. So like trying to kind of have that sort of 3-tiered relationship exists. I don't even know what it's called, a throuple. But like these new age sort of relationship styles that people are starting to experiment with or whatever. Hell, they making reality shows about them too or whatever. Like there's a Sister Wives like show, but there is a brother husband reality show out now where this woman now has 2 men or whatever. So now they're trying to get this 3-person sort of relationship to work now, but like everything that I've always saw, I've never seen a relationship successful or long lasting that's more than 2 people.
Yeah, right? Me neither. Me neither. And just like
I'm not
you,
saying you shouldn't try it because that's you. You live your life.
Right,
You do it.
right.
But like understand like the difficulties of just being. And I know a lot of people say that like we are human, so like we're not meant to kind of be tied down to one
monogamous.
person. Like we have this
Right.
animalistic sort of like desire, like that we always need to be satisfied and always like some people really do believe that. And maybe there's some truth to that. But like us as human beings with feelings and emotions and all the other things that go along with it, I've never seen a relationship work or any sort of situationship work where there's been more than two people. The only long-lasting, happy like relationships, if you want to be in a relationship, like has always been two people to me. And not saying that's what you have to do, because do you? But I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think it's gonna work, and I've seen it too. Just like you said, I agree with you 110. Let's get some comments. I'm sure there's some comments coming in. Do we have any on that one said? But yeah, let us know. Oh yeah, you got to watch the reading. I thought it was really good. Let's see. I can't see. Oh, I'm strictly monogamous. Good for you, Monita. That's what I'm talking about. Leave your comments. Want to talk about some stuff that's going on. So, said like, let me ask you something. We got a debate question before we wrap up the show. A couple of debate questions. Is it okay to be companions with a close family friend? Or family member's ex? Margaret said it's a no for me. Well, she might be talking about
the other one,
the open relationship. The reason why we posed this question, I been hanging out with one of my real good friends' ex-boyfriend. And she was in a relationship with him like, years ago. And, I bumped into him in Atlanta and stuff like that. And he's real cool. And I mentioned it to another friend, and one of the friends, she was like, well, I don't know how I feel about that, Kenya. If, you were hanging out with my ex-boyfriend and, y'all hanging out, but, I can't stand him and everything like that, I would have an issue with that. And I'm like, well, I don't think that they didn't really, they just broke up. Like, I guess things didn't work out, but it wasn't, they just didn't work out, but it wasn't like they ended like on bad terms, like, bitch, I hate you, like something like that. It was just, it didn't work out. So and then at the end of the day, we're grown too. So I just feel like as a grown man, he's a cool cat. See him out at like all the stuff I like to do, the museum and art galleries and stuff of that nature. And he's cool cat, so I don't see an issue. And I posed it to her when I talked to her a couple of days ago, and she didn't seem to mind. She didn't really have any issue. Now, however, on the other hand, I have a family member who has an issue with me dealing with her ex-husband. Like if I see him out or something like that, she's like, you shouldn't be talking to him because I can't stand him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like that's, and honestly, I'm just like, well,
that's immature.
That's immature because we're adults, and it's not like I'm breaking bread with the cat. But if I see him out and he offered me a drink, hey, what's up? We're gonna toast up. We're gonna have a good time. But it's like, I just feel like sometimes you got to grow up. So in my opinion, I feel like you can be cool as long as if the dude didn't try to kill you, if the ex didn't try to do nothing crazy to you and kill you, or make threats to your family or something like that. If I see him, we gonna be cool.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
No, I feel that. I think like it's a maturity level, and if it's not anything just major or whatever, like you shouldn't have a problem with anything. Like just move on, because like if you still tied to that person emotionally, whatever, like that meant that you ain't moved on or whatever. So you got some stuff to deal with on your own sort of individual level that I don't have anything to do with, and like it never should be that serious or whatever. I was up now. I thought you was gonna go to the point to where like there are cases where the ex still gets invitations to family functions or whatever. So like for example, whatever, like someone you dated a long time or were married or whatever, and they have not rekindled a relationship or whatever, and the family maintains a cordial and a great relationship with your ex or whatever, like, would that be problematic for the ex to come by if y'all ain't dealing with each other?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I thought you was gonna kind of say was you was at it was like a family sort of gathering or whatever, and then like somebody's ex got invited to the function, like they not so like as soon as you stop dating or stop married or whatever, then the relationship and all the access and privileges that go along with it get cut off.
That would be weird. So I totally get that. That would be a little bit weird, and that would be like, well, why are you still getting invited? But sometimes some families, they do that. They still invite the ex to the cookouts and everything like that. But in the situation that I'm talking about, I just feel like, hey, I could be cool. I could be cool with anybody as long as you're not disrespectful. As long as you didn't disrespect my friend, that I could still be cool with you.
Right, and if they didn't end on bad terms or whatever, like it shouldn't be a problem or whatever. Anita said it's a free country. Nobody's going to dictate who I can and cannot be cool with just because someone I know isn't cool with a person they used to deal with or date. Doesn't have anything to do with my relationship with that person. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a real good point. And even like with friends too. I have a friend here in Atlanta that hangs out with somebody that I really don't like, but I'm not going to tell her. Don't hang out with him, you know what I'm saying? Because that's immature. That would be very immature on my part. So I would never do anything like that. So I feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Well, Sam, let me ask you this. How country do you think you are?
I'm pretty country. A lot of folks can't tell sometimes, but I think I'm probably on a scale of on a scale of 10, I'm probably like 8, 9 easy.
8, 9 easy. Okay, well, pull up this chart. There's a debate that's going on right now on social media, how Southern you are. And they ask specific questions to see how Southern you are. So some of these questions, it's pretty much just based off of stuff that you've experienced, stuff that you've eaten in the South.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me pull up that screen because I think I'm pretty Southern.
All right. So you'll probably have to zoom in on that said, and you get a point for each one that you've eaten. Okay, so let's go down the list. We'll quickly go down the list. Peach cobbler.
Let's go across because I got to zoom in.
Okay. Peach cobbler.
That's one.
Pickled pig feet.
Nope.
Me neither. Fried squirrel.
Nope.
Chicken and dumplings.
Yep. 2.
Chess pie.
Chess pie. No, actually.
Yeah, me neither. Boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts. Not boiled kind. No, actually.
You never tasted boiled peanuts?
I haven't really. Have you?
Yeah. I've tasted it, but it's,
So I got 2 so far. What you got?
I'm at 1, 2.
Well, I'm keeping track of my fingers so I can go along with it.
Yeah,
cornbread. Okay, I definitely do cornbread. So that's 3.
I already know my number, so I'm gonna just run down the list and I'll tell you my number. Cornbread, red eye gravy,
no.
Chitlins,
no.
Gumbo.
Yep, 4.
Tomato sandwich.
I think so. Yeah, 5. Long time
Pear salad.
I like pears and salad.
Okay, frog legs.
No.
Turnip greens.
Yes.
Butter beans.
Butter beans, yeah.
Fried chicken fried steak.
Yep.
Hoppin' John.
Yep, that's 10.
Jambalaya.
That's 11.
Burgle.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. Liver mush.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. Deviled eggs.
Absolutely.
Hush puppies.
Yep.
Rabbit stew.
Absolutely not.
Po' boys.
Yep.
Souse.
Oh, no.
That's some Miami shit right there. Red beans and rice.
Yep.
Fried gizzards.
No.
What?
No.
Oh, I love fried gizzards.
Absolutely not.
Oh man, shrimp and grits.
Yep.
Brunswick stew. Shouts out to the Low Country.
I don't even know what that is.
Brunswick stew is, well, I forgot what it is. I've had it before though.
Okay, so no.
Chocolate gravy.
No.
Oyster casserole.
Nope.
Corn pudding.
Nope.
What? Say you never had corn pudding?
Mm-mm. Rice pudding.
Where are you?
I had
what
rice
about
pudding.
It's kind of like cornbread, and it's like a cornbread and cornbread and corn and cream corn mixed together
and baked.
Yeah.
No.
Gator tail.
Nope. Congealed salad. I think I had that a long time ago at one of my mom's Tupperware
That
parties.
sound nasty.
No, it's like
Fatback.
a dessert. Nope.
They used to call me Fatback when I was 8 years old. Poke salad.
Nope.
I don't even know what that is. Fried green tomatoes.
Yep.
Fried bologna. Chicken livers.
Yep. Nope. So I got 19 points.
Okay, you got 19. I got 25. So, if you got 19, you show enough Southern. And I got 25. You said what?
You got 25?
I got 25.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 25.
Yeah, you Southern.
Yeah, that fried bologna, all that stuff. I had all that stuff, man. What you watching on TV, Said?
Oh, actually, I'm watching a lot. There's this, I don't know what it's called, but I think it is on, sure, I don't know. But Jared from Subway, they're doing I think it's a 3-part series on him. So I think I've watched part 1. That's good to kind of know. But it's kind of weird. Have you, if you watch it, to me, what makes it weird is that like the lady in it that was a part and talking to him, like she's weird. Like, but yeah, you found out a lot of the backstory on kind of that whole situation. So that's cool. We talked about the reading. So I did watch that. So we should go to that. Growing Up Hip Hop, I did watch that episode. I know we don't have the reality recap with Shorty. Because Shorty be trying to get paid on Thursday, and we don't pay him, so he decided that he go work.
Damn right, get that money, get that bag, bro.
I can't argue with that. So like, and Marnita said fried gizzards are delicious.
Yes, they are with some ranch and sorry to interrupt, with ranch and hot sauce.
Ranch and hot sauce.
Yes.
I'm also watching. What am I watching? Oh yeah, growing up hip hop. Romeo's back, so like he's on the episode or whatever. So like that's what they're going through. I think he had dropped off a season or something like that, or so he's been on last episode. But there's also a Growing Up Gospel that is being on Wii. So like they got one of Dorinda Clark Cole's daughters. They got another little gospel dude. Who else they got? They got somebody else, but a lot of them are from Detroit actually. That and that's part of the reason why I did. Well, I didn't watch the episode, but it's saved, so I'll be watching that. Something I did watch that I actually was liked, and I just found it. I ain't heard nothing about it or whatever. Just happened to be scrolling on my phone and minding my own business because I'm doing a podcast right now. Okay, I'll see you soon. All right, love you too. All right. So minding my own business and not even doing anything and trying to find nothing, whatever, and it happened on Mary J. Blige. And she got this little talk show called The Wine.
Is it out yet?
It's on BET. The first episode came out. BET and BET Her. So she interviewed Taraji was on her first episode, and Carisha from City Girls. I ain't gonna call her from City Girls anymore. Like she just Carisha, and I think at this point, like we all know who we're talking about when we say Carisha. But she and I think what's the other girl? Miami Brownlee was on there too or whatever. So that was cool to watch and see her.
Okay.
And I've been watching women's basketball because my Gamecocks Dawn Staley is in the tournament now. We won the SEC tournament already, so I've been watching that. Watch every single game. And now I'm watching every single game of the NCAA tournaments, and I'm gonna try and go to Dallas at the end of the month. I think it's the end of the month. If I can put some stuff together, I'm gonna try and go to Dallas. So I'm watching a lot of stuff. What you watching?
Let me see. Like I said, I'm watching BET shows like The Ring. There was a movie on BET that I watched called Under the Influence that Michelle Lamb was in. So I wanted to watch and see what it was all about. And that was actually you said what?
What's the name of it again?
Under the Influence.
Okay. Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, so I checked that one out. Iman Shumpter is the star of that. Michael Michelle from back in the day, she's in the movie too, and Cynthia Bailey. That was actually a pretty decent film. And let's see, what else have I been watching? Of course, Abbott Elementary. I love Abbott Elementary.
On that.
I love Abbott Elementary, man. Like that is like one of my favorite shows. And that's pretty much it. That's all I've been watching. Oh, and then it's something about watching old school movies that kind of like take me back. Like I love watching old movies from back in the day. And the other night I watched Fatal Attraction just for shits and giggles, bro. And it's just such a good movie, man. Like just the acting, the storyline, and it kind of opened the doors for all those. You said what?
Like old school actors and like the actors back in the day, like they were top notch.
They were top notch.
Actors ain't good now, but like they was on a different level.
Yeah, really, really were. So I love watching that. And another movie that I have set up to watch is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I used to love that movie back in the day, so I'm gonna watch that probably this weekend. So that's what I've been watching.
That's dope. Cool.
Yep.
Well, that's our show. We have come the end of our time together.
All right. Really appreciate you all checking us out. We're on Instagram at Everybody Mad Live Podcast. Shouts out to everybody checking us out. I saw a couple of Savannah State people check in. AC, what's up, AC? You all know AC's been on the show before. So want to send shouts out to her. And also Waniki, I think I saw you check in too. What's up, what's up, what's up?
Yep, thank you for joining us. I had some last comments coming in. Thank you, Marnita, for always joining us on the show and adding in your input on Everybody Mad. We're live here every Thursday. Well, I ain't gonna say every Thursday, but I'm gonna say most Thursdays. We do have moments.
It'd be hard to put together a show, y'all. This show almost did not come together for real. I ain't gonna lie.
And like I wasn't gonna trip either, like because I kept looking. I was like, well, he ain't saying nothing, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But like actually, like today just happened to be one of those days where I was not even running around. I actually had a meeting to end the day, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna end my meeting at home. I ain't gonna be in the office, so I came home to kind of do the Zoom because we work with a company in South Carolina, actually to do some marketing and branding projects with the museum or whatever. So I was like, let me end off my time with my South Carolina people, or whatever. But thank you again for joining us on the show, and I'm glad we were able to put the show together because people were able to come. So thank you again. So we'll see you same time, same place next time. Something went together and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out, so I'm gonna just stop, and we're just gonna end the show because I'm gonna say bye.